Instead, they made John Hartson the most expensive teenager in the Premiership when they paid Luton £2.5 million for the 19-year-old who returns tonight after a 3-match domestic suspension. In fact, he replaces Ian Wright, who has been relegated to the subs bench on the day his future has been subject to speculation. Captain Tony Adams returns after suspension to replace Steve Bold, and in midfield, Steve Morrow comes in for John Jensen. So acting manager Stuart Houston has acted decisively after Sunday's defeat by West Ham. But the happiest man in the Arsenal camp is Paul Merson, whose wife Lorraine last night gave birth to their third son, Sam, and there's quite a baby boom at Highbury, with Andy Linnigan and Tony Adams both having become fathers again recently. Well, as for Blackburn, Alan Shearer and Chris Sutton both had late fitness checks for injuries received at the weekend. Both were past fit, and so the team is the one that won at Aston Villa and hopes to go back to the top of the Premiership tonight. Referee Alan Wilkie starts the match. Pitch fairly soft, but he was pleased to see no more rain come in the late afternoon. And it's Blackburn playing from the right with Ripley making an early advance. Two very different performances from these teams at the weekend. Blackburn a solid victory, Arsenal a poor performance against West Ham. But sometimes those things can turn fairly quickly. In fact, Arsenal haven't had a win over Blackburn in their last 5 attempts in the Premiership. And Adams expecting his goalkeeper to deal with that. But he only gave it to Henning Berg. This is Ripley. Shearer. Ripley again, forward for Wilcox, who moved across. Sutton. It's good play. Shearer tries to give it back to him, and Adams was stretching. This is Berg. Ripley. Wilcox. Shearer far post from him. And that's Sutton. And here's Shearer with a chance. Well, he took it ever so well, but I think it's fair to say that the defender wasn't close enough from an Arsenal point of view. And Alan Shearer has scored his 30th goal of the season for Blackburn. And it followed a throw-in from Henning Berg, a turn by Chris Sutton, but Linnigan seems to have given him a lot of room there. It was Adams who was beaten by Sutton in the first place, the other central defender, and as Sutton rolls it in, well, you can't give Shearer even half a yard. Linnigan got to him in the end, but the shot still went in. Less than 4 minutes gone, and Blackburn take the lead. This is Ray Parlour for Arsenal. And now Sherwood. Oh, it's a good ball again. My goodness, Arsenal is stretched here. This is Shearer with Sutton in the centre. Shearer's shot. This is Merson. Parlour makes a run off Lasso, and Tim Flowers alert. This is Parlour. And Lasso's got Sutton making a run. Blackburn first to the ball again. This is Sherwood. Kenny Dalglish seeing Alan Shearer there score his 27th Premiership goal this season. Ripley against Winterburn. Which the goalkeeper covers. This is Lasso. And Shearer goes down, but it's an advantage anyway. Oh goodness, it's a free... Oh, brilliant goal! Graham Lasso! An excellent piece of refereeing too by Alan Wilkie, because there was a foul in the build-up on Shearer, but when the ball came back he let them play on, and Graham Lasso with his left foot scores a cracker from outside the area. Real good refereeing that, because there had been an offence, but he let them play on, and that's a beauty from Lasso. 18 minutes gone, Blackburn 2, Arsenal 0. And Blackburn start as though they mean to go right back where they were just over 24 hours ago at the top of the Premiership. Graham Lasso struck that beautifully, the England fullback. It was his third goal of the season, and he won't score many better. Morrow. There's Pearce. Every time Blackburn get the ball, they look menacing. Shearer's been flattened again, but once more they had possession, and the referee quite rightly let play go on. Sherwood. This is Helder. Hartson's just inside him. He's taking on Pearce. Helder has joined Arsenal at what can only be described as a very difficult time. As if they haven't got enough troubles in and around the club, they find themselves 2 down here in the first 20 minutes. Merson. Forward by Berg. Shearer is absolutely ready for anything that comes his way. He's pulling first one way, then the other. The defenders unsure how to deal with him. It's a good little ball, but Berg read it. This is Morrow. Onside, Helder. Good ball back to Parler. Still Parler, Hartson's inside him. This is Dixon. Oh, and Morrow! What a good effort that was. Well saved by Tim Flowers. Helder forces the corner. Good strike by Steve Morrow. Naturally left-footed player. He caught that well, but the corner's been taken already. Helder. And that was the first bite back by Arsenal. It was a good stop, actually, by the England goalkeeper. Tim Flowers had to react fairly quickly there. That shot seemed to come through 1 or 2 bodies. And a worried-looking Stuart Houston, and no wonder. And finally, Bartram gets it away, but not for long, I suspect. This is Dixon for Arsenal. Hendry. Berg. Sutton threatening again. Play on, says the referee, and that volley from Chris Sutton was not so far over. Using his physical strength there to shake off an opponent, adjudged to be a fair challenge as he flattened Adams. And that one, if it had dipped a bit more, might have given Bartram the shakes from Chris Sutton. Header by Warhurst. Oh, that's well done by Linnigan. Forward by Dixon. Well, Henning Berg made that look a good pass. This is Shearer. Berg's now moving off to the right. And it's Winterburn who goes to cover, which means Helder now will have the run of the touchline because Berg is out of position. But look who runs back, Ripley. This is Merson. Helder again, Merson. Hartson. John Hartson. And Flowers makes his second important save. John Hartson was through. But Arsenal have a throw on the far side. It's away by Sherwood. This is Linnigan. Oh, and the header was by Pearce. Well, Tim Flowers has twice excelled himself. Although Arsenal have had chances few and far between, he's stopped shots from Morrow and Hartson now. This is Parler. Schwartz. Now it's Winterburn. Merson's inside for him. Good little turn. That's more like the old Merson. And he's found Parler. Hartson's there. Oh, good save again at the near post by Flowers. John Hartson denied for the second time by the England goalkeeper. But Arsenal have a corner. Parler did well to cut that back, and there was some power in the shot. And he picks it off the head of Tony Adams, and it's a very steadfast performance here by the Blackburn goalkeeper. Now that touch has put Ripley in possession. Sherwood's up with the strikers in the middle. Still Ripley. I think we said on Saturday he's been waiting a long time for a goal. Well, Stuart Ripley looked up, then decided to go on his own. It was a lovely shot, but Vince Bartram might just have got a hand to that, although a corner wasn't given. I've got a feeling he turned that past the post. It'll be a Blackburn throw. They've only lost 4 times in the Premiership this season, Blackburn. This is Ripley. Doing a good match on the right wing. And a lot of dangers coming from there. Sherwood, oh, look at Hendry in the attack. Splendid effort by the centre-back. Just a measure of Blackburn's confidence there, getting players forward from all sorts of positions, and as the referee blows for half-time, Hendry's shot flies just wide. But the high scorers in the Premiership have added 2 more to their total. Alan Shearer got the first and Graham Lasso got the second. Arsenal did test Flowers in reply, but are still 2-0 down. Well, I refer to the advantage that Alan Wilkie played before the second goal, and it was a foul by Adams on Shearer, and he was booked. in the aftermath. So the Arsenal captain is on a yellow card. They're 2 goals down, and they've got quite a tough programme coming up, Arsenal. They've got their return European match against Auxerre, and some difficult away games looming at Newcastle and Manchester United. So that's a foul by John Hartson. That's going to be another yellow card. So the 2 players who've returned tonight from domestic suspensions have both picked up another booking. It's all going Blackburn's way so far. No, another piece of classic play by Shearer. Warhurst got away. It was Atkins who was brought down, and Linnigan was the player that made the challenge. He doesn't look very happy about the decision, Andy Linnigan, but as Atkins goes past him, it looks very much like a trip, and Linnigan is the offender, and Blackburn have a penalty and an opportunity for Alan Shearer to score from the spot for the 10th time this season. He drove that beautifully into the top corner, and Arsenal, who made a poor start to the first half, now concede again at the start of the second. Shearer makes it 31 for the season and 28 in the Premiership. And on the night, Arsenal find themselves 3 down, and in their mid-table position, there's no cause for comfort here for the London side. Here's Merson. Berg. Helder. This is Dixon. Oh, a shot here, but I can go back to Morrow. Steve Morrow scores. Ray Parlour made it. And 2 goals in a matter of 2 minutes. Arsenal back in it. Parlour gets the other side of Sherwood. Tim Flowers can only palm the ball out, and it's Steve Morrow that pulls the score back to 3-1. Well, that's some hope for Arsenal at least. 2 goals in the first 4 minutes of the second half, 1 to each side. Merson, Parlour outright, and plenty of space. Hendry's the player having to go across. Lasso was missing for a moment. It's Parlour's cross, it's headed away by Berg. Parlour. It's causing a bit of concern over on that side, is Ray Parlour. But that's offside Alan Shearer, who of course is now chasing another hat-trick. Merson. Oh, good ball, and Parlour's in here. Well, that was a great chance and a good stop. No flag, so it would have stood, and Arsenal would have been back at 3-2 there. No reason here at all for Blackburn to breathe easily. 3-0 became 3-1 and could easily have become 3-2. And it's the 4th time Tim Flowers has made a valuable stop tonight. Helder. It's a very good game, this now. Still Helder. And ball by the Dutchman. Well, Tim Flowers has now made 4 important saves. Paul Merson picked out Ray Parlour. That was a glorious pass, a good run, and a good save too. Helder penalised again. And Shearer with Sutton in the middle and Warhurst arriving. Paul Warhurst timed his run there to come in from the left, and Alan Shearer acts as the provider. What a gloriously measured cross that is, but the header goes too far backwards from where it came. John Hartson is being pulled off. He has got a yellow card against him. Ian Wright's shorts have fallen down, but ultimately he's going to join the action. And he's going to play up front with Paul Merson. Merson. Dixon makes a run on the right, intercepted by Warhurst. Shearer. Atkins makes a forward run. Sutton's just inside, but Shearer's in fact picked out Ripley. Atkins! I don't think that would have counted. Atkins had the header, but I have a feeling that Chris Sutton was in an offside position, and I don't think that goal would have stood. There you can see the player in front of the goalkeeper just, and if you watch it from this angle, you might see why the linesman flagged. The ball comes out to Ripley. The player with the header is Atkins, but watch the man beyond him, that's Sutton, and that's where the flag was. Here's Wright. Now it's opening up a little bit here for him. Sherwood, Shearer. Sherwood goes again. Oh, look at that. Shearer. Good save. Very good stop by Vince Bartram. Denies Shearer the hat-trick. But what a snappy move by Blackburn. Really playing some good football here. Back inside from Sherwood. Shearer's shot, good save, and a corner. Believe it or not, it's Blackburn's first corner of the match. Hendry's come forward. And that's where it's gone. Away by Parlour.
Glenn, keep going in. Who's shooting inside? Murphy. Get your shooting right, Paul. Get your shooting. Get your shooting.
Well, it's certainly been a match of scoring chances. Shots are plenty, both goalkeepers having a lot to do. And for the moment, it's Swartz for Arsenal. This is Helder. Oh, good save again by Flowers. There was some pace about that shot. Shot come cross from Glenn Helder. And he got some sting into this with his left foot. Again, a good save. Still some work to do here for Blackburn, no doubt about that.
Team! Get him in with you! Get forward!
Oh, it's a bit short from Linnigan. This is Shearer. Sutton's in the middle. Warhurst is joining up. Shearer! And here's Sutton, surely! Oh, this has gone. Flag was up on the far side. I suspect for an offside. So again, it wouldn't have mattered. Well, the linesman on the far side, Eddie Walsh, is keeping up with it. There have been two close calls there, but I think I have to say that they were both right. Well, Arsenal get the throw. Merson. Wright's there, hits Pearce, right again. Arsenal are appealing for hands, they're surrounding the referee. 4 or 5 players around the referee here, and he's got some sorting out to do, Alan Wilkie. They appeal for handball, I think it's against Pearce. Yes, it was, from Wright's header. No penalty given, corner instead. And Arsenal have forced 3 corners in quick succession here. They're really piling them up, actually. It's 9 now in the game. And Blackburn not sitting too comfortably on the 3-1 lead. Shearer back defending against Linnigan. This is Helder. Winterburn's now joined the attack. This is Schwartz. They're still lined up on the far side of the penalty area, waiting for a cross, those that were up for the corner. Here's Dixon. And now Parler. Oh, that's a foul. Warhurst booked for that. Free kick to Arsenal. Morrow! Oh, what a good chance. He rather made a present of that to the goalkeeper, Steve Morrow, and his gesture suggests he knows it. That really should have been 3-2. Swung in for the free header almost, but straight at Flowers. Atkins, Sherwood running on here. Taken out by Adams. Now Merson, who's turning well. Away from Hendry, through to Wright, chance here, Ian Wright. Shaving the post from this angle. A nice smile, but it was a good move again by Arsenal. Fluency in their football at the moment. And Wright's effort, well, it was a little bit further away than it may have looked. But the move was a good one. And it's Merson who he's thanking for the pass. Oh, look at that from Shearer. He's fooled Linnigan, and he's away. Sutton's to his left, and Bartram saves from Shearer again. Just as some snowflakes start to fall, Alan Shearer threatens to make it 4-1. And this is Merson with Dixon on the far side. It's where Arsenal have really profited, managing to run from that position and get the ball out to the right. This is Dixon. Parler there, but Hendry slid in. This is Sherwood, and on the break, and maybe a chance if Shearer can stay onside. He has. Well, Arsenal might contest this, but he's on his way. Sutton's in the middle. Sherwood's trying to get there as well. It's still Shearer. Shearer! Oh, and the goalkeeper saves again. Well, there have been 3 shootouts here between Bartram and Shearer, and 3 times the goalkeeper has prevented the Blackburn number 9 from completing his hat-trick. Taking on Henningberg. This is a good test of pace here. And held us away. On a great cross, and Parler came in. Wonderful wing play by the Dutchman. Glenn Helder getting the better of Henningberg, but the cross is beautiful. Real delivery that. And Ray Parler just put off by Lasso, I think. And that's lofted forward by Newell. Came half off Ripley. We'll get it now from Berg. Tries to trick Winterburn, and he's away, Ripley. Newell's the man in the centre and marked. There's Newell. Onside, Mike Newell. This would have been a fitting climax from a Blackburn point of view. There was a 2-against-1 position. They were appealing, but no offside flag came. Atkins and Blackburn go back to the top of the Premiership just 24 hours after losing that position. Tim Flowers had a fine match, making 4 or 5 vital saves, but Vince Bartram at the other end did just as well for Arsenal. It was one of the most fluent games I've ever seen between these two clubs. There could have been more goals, but in the end it was Blackburn, courtesy of Shearer 2 and Lasso, who won 3-1. Arsenal's goal coming from Morrow.
I thought it was a good performance. I thought it was a very open game. I thought the both sides played very well. I thought the forwards played well for both sides, and both goalkeepers played well.
It's getting very interesting, isn't it? Man United winning last night on a close decision, and us winning again tonight puts us 3 points clear again, and within 1 goal of them now. Very interesting, isn't it? There's 10 games to go, but it's eating up, isn't it?
Were you surprised to be left out of the starting lineup?
Yeah, I was surprised and disappointed, but those things happen in the game. I don't think anybody's got a divine right to be in the first team. Obviously, Stuart thought he saw things in the Auxerre game, maybe the West Ham game, wasn't pleased with. And like I say, it is disappointing to be left out, but you have to just work hard to get back in and do your stuff. I'll be back.
I'm sure you will. There was one newspaper this morning that was trying to actually get you transferred. There's no truth in that, presumably.
Well, you know, I read it just like everybody else in the newspaper, in the newspapers. And as far as I'm concerned, that's where it is. And you know, I'm an Arsenal player, and you know, that's what I want to remain. Arsenal means a lot to me. I was very disappointed with, like I said, with the 2 games I've played. But you know, I like to think when I was with George, you know, he knew maybe how to give me a little bit of a rollicking, and you know, I knew that I had a few games where I wasn't playing very well, and you know, he gave me his rocket, and you know, I'd come back. Mark Stewart's come with his different ideas, and he wants to give me a rocket in a different way, and I'm willing to accept that.
That's good of him, but I'm sure the fans will be amazed he was left on the bench, a player of his stature.
I was surprised as well. We had to look at the team sheet twice, didn't we?
Checked it.
Yeah, but I mean, every strike has loss of form. I always think the ones that it's best for a manager to stick by because he'll score goals. I was a big surprise for me.
It was a super game, wasn't it? And Tim Flowers had to be on the best of his form to keep Blackburn ahead.
He did. He made some great saves. Arsenal played really well going forward. I mean, most, unlike Arsenal, you couldn't call them boring at all, which is a bit sad, really.
No.
But they played really well, but Blackburn did as well. It was a cracking match.
And this man Shearer, outstanding once
relentless,
again.
Relentless. He was, but it was, I think, made a little bit easy for him tonight by some bad defending from Arsenal. Normally they're great strength, of course, but it wasn't tonight. The biggest problems was when the fullbacks were getting forward. We'll actually circle Lee Dixon here as he comes into the picture at the bottom there. And when he was getting forward, there was big spaces behind him that he'd actually left. And Sherwood finds that space, and nobody picked up Alan Shearer every time he went into it. And both Adams and Linnigan, they just sort of let him go wide. And you see, Shearer had a field day all day. Again, you can see Shearer in bundles of space, this time through the centre with Adams and Linnigan not marking at all. And it was that sort of night for him. I think this is probably the best example, Lee Dixon getting forward once more. Now what should happen here is that Shearer's at at the far end. He knows that that space is there. One of the defenders must go with him. That means Winterburn moves over and Adams move over, and they just compensate for that. But that wasn't the case. It didn't happen at all. Shearer cut in. He was after his hat-trick here. He perhaps should have squared it, but I wouldn't have been very happy with him if he had. And this was actually his goal early in the game. Sutton does well. But again, Linnigan standing off him allows him to turn, and Shearer's great at that, hitting the ball on the turn. He's such a great striker of the ball that you can't give him that space.
28 Premiership goals.
Amazing.
It's wonderful, isn't it? People keep comparing him with you and say you're similar sort of players. Is that right? I mean, is that...
He's a better player than me. There's no doubt about that. And his scoring record's phenomenal as well. I think there's certainly a difference in the styles. I mean, his great strength. He strikes a lot of goals from long distance. Most of mine were from close range. I found that in my early days, when I was his age, I think 24, I used to score goals through the middle as well with my pace. But it's a bit harder when I went abroad to play in Barcelona. The Continentals mark man for man, and they have sweepers, which is also similar to international football. And I think he'll have to... He'll find it a little bit more difficult to score goals at that level because I had to score the goals by going to the near post, change my game when I went abroad. And if he goes abroad, and certainly with England, he'll have to consider that and start to attack space in the penalty area, which is some way he can improve. And if he does that as well, he'll be awesome.
But he's the best around at the moment, isn't he, in this country?
Without a shadow of a doubt, and the way he's going, he'll be the best in the world.